On Tuesday night, a video surfaced of an incident at Manchester Airport where an officer stamped on the head of a suspect who was already incapacitated. We have a clip of the incident. Warning to those, this video may be distressing.
Oh shit! Oh, move back! Stop kicking people! You don't camera! Why is he walking? Oh shit! Shit, leave him! Move back! Shut up! Move back! Hey! Move back! Say! Move back! Oi! Shut up! Move back!
Now, you can clearly see that excessive force was used, and it wasn't out of self-defense. And the suspect was on the ground with their arms at the side, and this tactic can literally kill people. Now, the officer is facing an investigation. The Independent Office for Police Conduct said on Friday it was exploring a criminal prosecution against the unnamed officer who has been suspended by Greater Manchester Police. The officer is being investigated by the IOPC over his use of force on 19-year-old Mohammed Fayer, as well as his use of pepper spray on a second man at Manchester Airport on Tuesday night. Now, we've heard some pretty awful responses, as you can imagine. Now, this was from Alex Armstrong from GB News. The man getting kicked by the police was a violent thug who sent 3 officers to hospital and left 1 female officer with a broken nose. Take note how the left run to the comments to declare racism, but it's mental health issues when an army officer is stabbed to death. Now, it's not relevant who the person is or what they did. This is about the police, not the suspect. But of course, there are many who resort to this kind of reactionary opinion. Lewis, first of all, what are your thoughts on the officer's actions, and what would you think would be appropriate response from the police? And also, what would you say to those who think, well, you know, they're bad people, they deserve it?
Well, obviously, the police officer's actions were disgusting. It doesn't matter who you're dealing with, whether it's a drunken person, a person with mental health issues, or a person who's even assaulted somebody, or yes, even murdered somebody. We handle people in the same way because that's what our society dictates. This is the society that we've built. We cannot live in a society where we turn around and say, yeah, this person can be assaulted by the police because of the actions that they've done, because then we remove the idea of policing by consent, right? This is the point of a progressive society. And I do want to very quickly point out as well, Lee Anderson's very disgusting remarks where he said the police officer deserved a medal. You're not going to get away with that one, Lee. Sorry, what was your second question, Curtis?
Well, that was it, to just expand on the idea that, well, it's the woke left who say, well, this is excessive force, whereas they're bad guys. I mean, we saw it with George Floyd, right? I mean, most of us said what happened to George Floyd was disgusting, and you saw people on the political right say, but George Floyd was a thug. He shot he beat up his pregnant girlfriend or whatever it was, and he did all these things. And it's like, but that's not the point. The point is, if we allow police powers to do bad things to bad people, it's only a matter of time before they do it to quote-unquote good people. So, I mean, I want to get your response to those who are trying to push this reactionary view and why it's dangerous.
Well, you know, a message to all the right, because, you know, you tend to love to support criminals, from everybody from Tommy Robinson to Donald Trump, is that, you know, you believe in this thing called innocent until proven guilty. It doesn't matter that the police were called because this person assaulted somebody in any way, or even what he did to the officers. At that point, he is still innocent until proven guilty, and therefore he's equal in our society under the law, that he has to be treated just like anybody else should be in that situation. Obviously, force is needed, but people are trained on how to take people down safely, not only to obviously preserve the person's life so they can face justice, but also to avoid anything like this happening. If you want to live in a police state where they can just simply do whatever they want, you're asking for tyranny, which again is moving away from this idea of what our society is supposed to be. That man, whether you like it or not, whether he punched a police officer or not, he's still innocent until proven guilty. And this idea that we're almost promoting this idea of that was justice, kicking him in the back of the head could have very easily, as you said, killed the man almost instantly, potentially. And obviously, as we know, that the officer could now be maybe facing actual charges beyond a suspension, which I would absolutely welcome. But this is the society that people are voting for. This is reform. I'm pretty sure people, if we had Republicans involved in this, because it ties back into George Floyd, people would be happy with this. This is the state that we're moving towards. It's absolutely disgusting, and this is the future that we have if we continue to let the far right grow as it is.
I mean, often when I have conversations on these kind of topics, the response I get is, well, what if that was someone you cared about and they beat up your girlfriend? You know, what if it was a loved one? You're telling me that you wouldn't want to go and do something? I remember it was I mean, you're probably better on American politics than I am. But it was quite a while ago where the death penalty question came up, and one of the presidential candidates said he was against the death penalty. And then they said it lost his election. I don't know if you can recall.
Oh, I can't remember who that was. Sorry.
But essentially, it's like, well, I mean, you don't support the death penalty, but what if this person went and murdered your family? What would you say? But for me, it's like, I mean, you're right. I mean, me personally, if someone were to hurt a member of my family, would kill a member of my family, would I personally want to kill them? Of course I would. I'm a human being. But we don't judge based on emotion. We don't judge based on, or we don't police based on emotion or what I might personally want in that instance, or what you may want in that instance. We judge based on law and order, and as a society, as a collective, and we don't give a judge, jury, executioner to the police. We do that to the judge and the court. So, and that's when the death penalty sort of issue comes up. Which, to be fair, that you know, it's not exactly that prevalent in British politics, but it seems to be coming back in some kind of circles, in reform circles, which is, oh, you don't support the death penalty? What about these very bad people? And it's like, well, again, it's not what I personally want, it's what we should do. And I think that's what my argument would be. But I think we do accept, I mean, I accept that we are in quite a progressive society in many things. We are kind of like live and let live. We are quite left-wing on the economy. I will always argue that. But when it comes to sort of policing, we are quite authoritarian, but this goes further than that. And I want to pick up what you said before. This is what a progressive society is. I would argue it's not what a progressive society is. It's what a basic conservative society is. Conservatives say they care about law and order. That's what they say they care about. And now we're seeing a new wrinkle in right-wing politics, which is, well, they don't care about law and order. They kind of care about anarchy with the police, and they can just do what they want, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you are right. It is basics, actually. I've probably gone a little bit too far in my progressive comment. Tends to what happens when we're comparing ourselves to people like Lee Anderson. But this is going to continue. But also as well, we cannot forget, Curtis, the racial undertones to this. Not even undertones, just the racialness of this. Multiple there was one former Met police officer, a senior guy, I can't remember his name, who immediately came out and was like, this is just obviously racist, and this is why people were supporting it. I doubt whether, average reform voter who goes down to the pub and gets arrested at Wetherspoons, if that video went viral online of a guy like that, or even a woman, like, again, if it's about justice, right, you're basically saying that anybody should receive that treatment who does such actions, and therefore if that was a little white blonde woman getting kicked in the back of the head by the police, and you found out she might have assaulted a police officer, I don't think this would be the same story. The story is that this is deeply racialized, because these men, I don't know if it was actually confirmed, they were Muslim. They were definitely obviously like of Asian descent. I don't actually know what their religion is, but this is why we had people like Lee Anderson and people like the GB News guy just coming out and almost supporting this, because the guy wasn't white. And it ties into this idea of it's okay because they're not white. I just don't accept that this would have been any other story if it was just an average white person.
I'm excited to say that Turn Left has significantly grown this year. And with that, we've managed to produce far more ambitious content, interviewing high-profile people. We did a 12-hour live election show. There are multiple people behind Turn Left, but we are still working around our full-time work. But we would love it if this was our full-time. It means we could dedicate so much more and to bring even more ambitious content. So if you've been here from the beginning, or you've only recently become a viewer, if you like what we do, then you can help us out. please like and share this video. Make sure you drop a comment. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your feedback. And we desperately need more independent media. If you want to see a socialist media alternative thrive, then you could be part of that. So if you can, you could support us on Patreon for £3 or £5 per month, or any one-off donation. We can use that money to upgrade our equipment, to rent out a proper studio, and to start paying ourselves. This is only the beginning. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Patreon.com, Turn Left Media. Support independent media. Support social justice that's there on social media. Thank you, Turn Left.